I'm the bartender. We'll be bringing you today a new series of videos I would like to call Talk Gaming. Now obviously if I had some video software, I can just make like magical words that say talk and then gaming appear. Unfortunately, due to the limitations of that, the fact I have no video producing effects, machine, studio, or people that know of such mechanical uses for such programs, just envision Talk Gaming. Talk Gaming episode 01, I will be focusing on, as you can see behind me, and as you could see on my previous reviews, arcade gaming. How it was so amazing one day, and then where the hell did it go? Nobody knows. Where is it? Is it over here? I don't know. It's over here. Nobody knows what happened. With this series of videos, not just about arcade gaming, but gaming in general and other things also in general. Just anything that's worldly we'll discuss on this series of videos. And the only way for these series of videos to partake in the measurements of my time and effort to produce them and to put them into your computer or monitor or television if you got an HDMI output is for you to contribute questions or anything of that analysis to me, to which I will program into my mind and give you my output, my views, and my expressions of such topics. Since nobody's brought a question to the table, I might as well address the arcade situation. So, episode 1, arcades. Maybe the next 2 episodes will be about arcades. But for the love of Jesus, send me your questions, or if you want to know my thoughts on something, ask. And I'll do this on a regular basis. Hopefully we'll get some more subscribers, because I'm at 100 videos almost, and I have a little bit more over 500. People would say, you know, hey, you gotta release better content. Well, guess what? You get what you get. You order prime rib, you get prime rib. You order a baked potato, sometimes it ain't cooked in the middle. Gaming as a whole, or regular items of interest, you ask, and I shall present. Back on the topic, gaming in the arcades. Now, the late 70s, early 80s, we had arcades, and they were pretty frequent. They were all over the place, common, if you will. All started with a game called Pong. Pong was placed in a bar. Now, this was not the first video game ever made, but it was one of the first commercially, financially awesome first attempts at gaming in arcade settings, but obviously it was at a bar. They actually thought the machine was broke when they first put it in there, and it turned out that the goddamn tray was filled with quarters. So they had to make it bigger to get more quarters so you could play, you know, boop, 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 to play tennis. That was your first generations of competitive arcade gaming. Now, like I mentioned, in the early 80s, you had quite a few noteworthy titles. Of course, you had Miss Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, all these classic titles. But what you have to remember, though, is that in the arcades, there was many different games, many different varieties of games. And the early 80s was more of a strive towards maintaining a high score. Now, the initial games that came out didn't even keep the high score. Every time it was shut off, the score would get reset. So, competitive gaming, as you see it today, with your achievements on Xbox Live, your trophies on the PlayStation Network, and Nintendo's, whatever Nintendo does, which I don't think is anything, those competitive-like achievements in the early 80s was basically to maintain a high score. Get the highest score on your particular arcade machine, and you would be the man of the hour, the king of the tower. You would be Billy Mitchell. You would be a rock star, because you would be the best at that game. And there was arcade games, there were zillions and millions of them. Some wacky ones over in Japanese, like, you know, you put the finger in the butt, but that's one of the newer types of games, and I don't know the name of that game. I saw a video of it, and I thought that was insane. Jumping around here. Like I said, early 80s were about high score. Now, the competitive gaming aspect came a little bit more into the late 80s, early 90s, when the introduction of fighters such as Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 1 was pretty horrible. real shitty game. Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat, these fighters pretty much ignited the market for arcades in the early 90s. And once again, a competitive nature, as in you would know the moveset of an individual character, you would verse the individual from across the town who doesn't know anybody, but he's a goddamn master, and then you're just fighting it out for supremacy at your local arcade. Those were the days. I grew up watching these people play. I'd see a huddle of people around some arcade machines, and it would be interesting to see what the hell the commotion was. As I got closer, you would see Ryu kicking Guile's ass on the Ken stage with the music that's like dun 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 dun. Well, anyway, it was beautiful music. It was awesome. And I'm pretty much rambling here. So, where am I getting at? What is the point of my conversation? I have figured out that I don't know at this point. So let's continue. Early 90s, you got your fighting games. Late 90s is when you had the transitional period into 3D games. Remember Daytona USA? They used to, when that first came out, people were like, oh, this is awesome. Graphics were shitty. Now you look back at them. But back in the day, graphics were the shit. Virtual Fighter, you were like, oh my god, it's 3D fighters. Looking back at it, the polygram, it's stupid looking. It doesn't look that great. It hasn't aged that well. And when you jump in Virtual Fighter, you're in the air for like 20 seconds. It's like, that was the late 90s. Obviously, I don't know where I'm going with this. And this is why I need your input. I need you to tell me. I want you to generalize so I can take something and be more specific about it. Because arcades, you can go from here to here. Because there's so much to talk about. You don't know what you could talk about. You could talk about this, you could talk about that. Look, Sega Racer Outrun. This is the deluxe version. This one moves. Now, if you saw my other review, Power Drift, that one moves too. And all the old Sega arcade machines, most of them had variations where they moved. And there was even a game that was, you'd be in a ball, it was like a 360. You'd be in it, you'd be upside down, you had to sit down while the guys at the station maintaining your safety in the goddamn machine. It was awesome. I never saw that machine. I saw a video of it. So if I saw a video of it and it was awesome, think about what it would be in person. It would be the craziest thing in the goddamn world. And I'm telling you right now, folks, arcades, they're non-existent now. Why? I don't know. As graphics have gotten better, arcades have stayed in the danger zone. They have stayed around. I mean, the last time I was at an arcade game, the game of the hour, the game with the power, was Dance Dance Revolution. And seeing a 350-pound man dance, I didn't want to go to the arcades anymore. Plus, the vendors or the people operating the arcade facilities, they were charging $1 to play a game, and I don't have $1. I have 50 cents, maybe a quarter. So, in this generalization of what I just said, I don't know where I went with it. I went up, I went down. I generalized. Specifically, nothing. That's what I did. This is why it's episode 1. Arcades are dead. Why? Is it because gaming has evolved to where you can play online? Has it become so desensitized that instead of competing with somebody right in front of you, you're better off calling them names over the internet from New York to California? I don't know. I wish I knew. I wish I knew a lot. But I know what I know. Games are my hobby. I wish I could make them my personal, my way to make money, I guess. I don't know. But seeing as I have no idea what I would actually do, because quite frankly I'm not much of a developer of games, although I've had great ideas, and many people always have great ideas. I think I would be well suited as a public relations. I actually had an opportunity once and I pissed that away. Sad days, sad days. Now the randomness of this episode was basically to show that I have lost all goddamn interest in figuring out what to talk about. Obviously, I could talk about arcades and give you reviews of them, but I wanted to do a series. I wanted to do something more involved. I wanted it to be something. So Talk Gaming will be that series. And it's up to you to provide the content for these episodes. Whether they be 5 minutes, whether they be 4 minutes, whether they be 3 minutes, whether they be 11 minutes. You give me your feedback, your questions, and I will provide my answers and commentary on video games and anything related. I'm the bartender. Hopefully, we'll get somewhere. And if you could, subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you. Your business is appreciated, even though I don't know what business it is we're talking about. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe! And that's it. I'm the bartender, and that's it. That's it. Talk Gaming, episode 1 is over.